It's 2 a.m., and we are doing the work so society can survive. We're the unsung heroes cleaning the offices, sweeping the streets, and making the donuts. To my friends at the convenience stores brewing up the liquid energy we need to get through our shift, we salute you. Coming to you from the depths of hell, we call it Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome to 1790 WZRD, the magic of music. Let's kick off this block with Jason Newsted, King of the Underdogs. Welcome to Solitary RPG. In this video, we are going to take a look at Void 1680 AM. And before we get into the actual content of this RPG, let's talk about what's on my desk here. So first of all, this is the purchased version of Void 16 AM. It actually came with this really cool sticker. Picked this up at Gen Con 2023. And it was just a nice version of the rule book. This is the copy that I made from the PDF. I made it a little bit bigger than doing a traditional zine where you print it on pages and fold it in half. And bound it together like I do my books. So it just went together differently. And it was just my version, my play version when I got the game. And then all of these are kind of album covers from a friend of mine's game called Vinyl. And this is the heavy metal version because I'm into heavy metal. And these are kind of parodies of known bands. This is like Piston Head, which is a take of Motorhead. We got Iron Forge, which is, Iron Maiden. We have Aluminum. Obviously, that's a Metallica reference. But anyways, these are just here for ambiance, just to add some color to my table and to kind of give you a state of mind of where my radio station is going. I'm going to be playing heavy metal music. So let's get into the rules of Void 1680 AM. So this is it's not a journaling game. It's more like Wretched or Long Haul, those where you kind of record your entries into some sort of a device, via your computer, your cell phone, or hey, if you want to go old school and use a reel-to-reel, if you've got one laying around, you record your voice in some ways, shape or form, and you're running an AM radio station. And the AM radio station is very cool because it's kind of public access of radio. It's relatively easy to start up an AM radio station, I guess. I don't know. I've never tried. But as we get into it, here you can see the book is by Ken Lowery, and the cover art is by Jordan Witt, which is really cool cover art. And as you dive into the book, you're going to see these diagrams throughout the whole book, and the diagrams are by Dylan Todd. Here's their information if you're so inclined to take a look at more of what they have to offer. But it's really cool. I love these diagrams. It's kind of takes me back to Tim Hutchins' Apollo 47, where they got the actual blueprints of the Apollo craft and made that part of the game. Very, very cool there. So anyways, yeah, you are going to run an AM radio station. You can decide on how you run that AM radio station. You could be hired by a company and you're running like a normal job, or you could kind of go back to Christian Slater back in the day and pump up the volume and have a pirate radio station. Either way, and that's one of the things that's neat about AM radio is its reach is very limited based on the power of your equipment. That's what I pick up from reading this. And so it can be very concentrated in a small area, or you can get a more powerful antenna, I guess, and broadcast more to the public. So anyways, that's kind of what you're going to be doing. The book kind of walks you through all of the steps that you're going to need to go. But basically, just like my introduction that I read to you, you kind of come up with your personality. What are you going to do? What is your radio station going to be about? What is your personality going to be about? How is it going to flow through the radio waves? So I chose to be a midnight radio DJ who is the voice of all the people that work graveyard shifts. I've always had a special spot in my life for people that work graveyards because I work graveyards, and you're the person that does all the work that needs to happen so that the day shift people can function. It's when you gotta wax the floors and do all the crazy stuff in the office to make things function. You're the night owls. You're the Walking Dead working the night shift. So, anyways, so you got to create your personality. So that's what I've created for my radio station. You can do you. I know you if you want to do a different genre of music, like you want to focus on maybe some techno music or some music that doesn't get a lot of mainstream attention, or you can do like local band stuff. That's one of the things talked about here is you can just look at the local scene and do like local stuff, or you can go obscure. Like you can pull out, like, if you think you go back in time in music, unfortunately the only music that we really know much about today, from like the 50s, 60s, and 70s is the real popular stuff. But you can dive deep into, there's a lot of bands that just never really blossomed, like the Beatles or the Stones or things like that, or they kind of maybe had their one hit wonder and did some other things that didn't go as far. And you can really dive into some of the weeds and with a lot of different musics from different time periods or even different genres. I'm a big metal guy, and you can go in lots of different directions with metal, from 80s like glam metal to trash metal to speed metal to Norwegian death metal. You can go any place. Or you can just focus on a band. Like if you're really a big fan of a band that has a big collection of music available, you can just focus solely on that one band and pull from it. And how are you going to pull your music into your radio station, to your blocks of music? Well, you need a couple things. You're going to need a deck of cards, because this is going to be the main mechanic for building your playlist. And there's steps in here on building your playlist, and you need one six-sided dice and some kind of a voice recorder or what have you. Now, because it's a YouTube channel, unfortunately, I'm limited on what I can do as far as sharing my musical taste with the world. So I'll be just mentioning the bands in my video. If any of these bands seem interested, obviously you can go out and research them on your own. I'm not going to sit here and link to all their videos. In my intro, I talked about Jason Newsted. He is a bass player. Used to be the bass player for Flotsam and Jetsam, then went to Metallica, and now he's out on his own. His solo album is actually pretty good, and King of the Underdogs is like my anthem for a song, so I really dig it. And that was the prompt I received while going through all the steps that I needed to do for programming my song blocks. So these are just going to be instructions on how broadcasting works, wavelengths, give you some very basic information about creating a radio station. But here's how you're going to create your programming for your show. And then we get into song blocks. So what you're going to do with your deck of cards is you're going to break them down by suits. So you're going to have, you're going to take all the kings, queens, jacks, aces, take them out of the deck. Those are going to be one deck that you're going to pull from. Then you're going to take all your clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades and create 4 other decks. And your first song block, you're going to pull from the clubs. So you pull your card, you get a prompt. Whatever the prompt is from the card that you pull is the song you're going to want to pick. So for that Jason Newsted song, what it was is a new obsession, the thing you listen to every day right now. Why do you think it's so resonating? So then you're going to pick your song. You're going to put that into your song block. And then you just kind of answer that question. Why does this song resonate with me? Like I said, I'm a big fan of Jason Newsted. I love his music. I love his history. And this song, King of the Underdogs, is just an amazing song that just fills me with like energy and makes me feel empowered. And that's why it resonates so much with me. And I listen to it on a regular basis. I'm not going to say I listen to it every day, but on a regular basis. But each song block is going to consist of 3 polls. So you're going to pull 3 cards. You're going to write about those songs. And then while those songs are playing in the background, you're going to then have a caller. And then if you go to the back, you're going to get When a Stranger Calls. Again, looking at these diagrams, just awesome. Just very cool stuff. And then back here, you have all of the information for callers. So this is where the face cards, the aces, kings, queens, and jacks, you pull one of those. This gives you kind of a description of the caller. There's some rules here. Basically, if you pull your caller, so if the caller suit is the same as the current suit you're playing, so if we're doing clubs and I pulled a jack of clubs, it would match. They basically are talking about a song that I'm currently playing, and we would just narrate some information about that. If the suit matches the next block that you would be playing, so we're currently playing clubs, and the next block after clubs is diamonds. So if I pulled a queen of diamonds, then they're making a request for the next block. And then if it doesn't match anything, they're just want to talk to someone. So it's just kind of a cool little mechanic to create an AI for a caller into a radio station. It's just neat. I'm really having a good time with this game. It's just fun because I get to stretch my musical taste, and just because of the work I currently do in life, what I've found enjoyable with this is I can pull all my cards before going to work, and I can also do my caller, just write it on a little piece of scrap paper, and then throughout the day, because I'm in a vehicle all day listening to the radio, I can actually kind of create and really think about the questions and put some thought behind it, reflect back on my life, reflect back on songs that I'm listening to, and really dive deep into this and have some fun with it. And I'm just writing up some narrative information. So what I want to do in the next part of this video is I'm going to kind of clean up my desk a little bit, and we're just going to kind of walk through and do the second song block. So we'll pick our songs, we'll write down our prompts, and we'll do our caller and get into the game a little bit. So I'm all set up. What I've done is I've got all my diamonds, because that's going to be our second song block, and just kind of give these a little bit of a shuffle. It's kind of challenging to shuffle such a few amount of cards, but we do it. And then I have all of my base cards, my kings, queens, jacks, aces, and all that. Kind of give them a shuffle. These are going to create my caller. So with the 8 of diamonds and the prompt that we're given, it's one of the stupidest songs you love. It sucks, but you can't shake it. So this could be a lot of different things. Don't get so caught up into what the prompt is saying as far as stupidest song. It could just mean a lot of different things. It could just be maybe a theme song from a commercial that gets stuck in your head, or it could literally just be a stupid song that you just kind of get stuck in your head and you just can't get it out. And I think this is an actually great prompt, because there's so many of those songs that somebody starts humming or starts singing, or you hear it in a commercial, or it's on the radio, and for whatever reason now that song is just stuck in your heads. One of the songs that kind of pops to my mind right off the bat is like B-52's Rock Lobster. I know it's a good song, I know it's a popular song, but I don't really like it. But when it plays, like, all of a sudden now I'm stuck singing it for the next 2 hours of my life. So anyways, we don't need to answer this right now. We can give it a think and come back to it after some time. You don't want, gut reaction is you want to say something, you want to answer it, but think about it. Like, you don't have to jump. The next song that's going to be in our block is going to be the 5 of diamonds, a song from a curveball genre, unlike anything else you listen to. It is embarrassing to admit to it. So I do listen to a lot of different music, so this is kind of easy for me to say something that's a curveball genre, because I do listen to a lot of different things. And then it's embarrassing to admit to. So what could this be? I'm sure you're probably watching this video and you have some ideas of something that doesn't fit the norm. So I've already stated I'm a heavy metal channel. Like, I want to play heavy metal music, but hey, I like a lot of different stuff. So maybe a curveball genre might be something like, I don't know, Beastie Boys, like some hip hop, or maybe some disco music. So there's a lot of different ways I could go with this, but something that would be embarrassing to admit to liking. So I want to think about that a little bit more before I jump into it. There's a few bands in my mind right now that are kind of like, I could go this way or that way. So let's go pull the last card. It's going to be the Seven of Diamonds. A song that helps you imagine yourself as a villain. That's kind of deep. What song do I like that I think I'm a villain? Now this might be one. I'm gonna have to really give it some thought because I don't really ever think of myself as a villain. But what song could this be? So we might have to go a little deeper on this, and maybe it's not the song itself, but what the song represents. So maybe it is from a soundtrack of an evil movie, maybe something kind of from like some fantasy or sci-fi movie, like the when Darth Vader comes in and that music starts playing. Maybe it's something. Maybe that's what makes me feel like empowers me to makes me feel like a villain is the soundtrack from Star Wars. But we can go in a couple different directions. I want to really think about that one. So this is what's going to create our block. So we're going to take these prompts and we're going to think about it and kind of come up with some songs that fit these prompts that we can talk about in our game. And now what we're going to do is we're going to head over and do the caller. So when a stranger calls. So this is where now these diamond cards are done. So we don't need to worry about those anymore. So now we're going to do our caller. So we pull the card. I got the King of Diamonds. What is the king? A king is elderly, middle-aged, or older. So a King of Diamonds is me. 53 years old. So I'm beginning to talking to myself. So we got the King of Diamonds. And what we need to make sure that we're looking at is the suit, because we are in the diamond phase, so our suits match. So now we come up here. We determine the caller by one of the songs you are playing during the block. If the caller card has the same suit as your song block, they are calling about something you've played. Pick whichever one is numerically closer to the face card. So that tells me like this is the King of Diamonds, so it's going to be my Eight of Diamonds, the stupid song. So it's going to be an elderly person or middle-aged person, so someone my age is talking about the songs, and numerically close to the face card is going to be my Eight of Diamonds, so it's going to be my stupid song. And they're going to talk about that. So we can have some fun with that. So let's just write down something real quick. It's going to be, so we have everything we need to create this block of music. So at this point, we literally can put the book away. We can put the cards away. We didn't end up needing the dice. You would have used the dice if our caller was doing a request, or if they were just calling in, you would have used the AI prompts back here for those types of things. That's the request table, and these are just kind of common questions that callers might ask. So now I need to give this a think. I can do this on live as we're recording this, or I can cut back to it. Let's do it live. So you guys are kind of going through my thought process as we're doing this. So stupidest songs you love. And I kind of mentioned B-52s. I do like some 80s kind of pop rock type music, kind of like Duran Duran and The Cure. And I'm actually kind of leaning towards, like, just simply because of the prompt, I kind of want to keep it in that genre of I'm a heavy metal guy, so something of a stupid song might take me out of my genre. Also, though, I'm also going out of my genre with the second one, which is the curveball. So I'm trying to think of like stupidest songs I love in the metal genre, and I'm really I am kind of drawing a blank on that because I don't know many stupid metal songs, but I could say maybe some of the 80s glam metal could fall into that genre, like Poison. Poison, I don't know if it would be considered metal, but let's face it, when Poison came out back in the 80s, there was there was a lot to be said. That was a different band, and they got kind of got placed into that genre glam metal. So let's go with that. Let's do some Poison, and let's look what the cat dragged in. I'm trying to think of what songs were on that album. Um, Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I think I'm gonna have to do what the book says. Is I'm gonna have to find my electronic device, and I'm gonna look up. All right, so I had to look on my mobile device to figure out what titles were on the "Look What the Cat Dragged In" by Poison, and I got "Talk Dirty to Me." So this is kind of again, music is personal. It is your take on music. It is your taste of music. So don't get offended if I'm saying "Talk Dirty to Me" is a stupid song. It's very glam rock metal. It's not something I'm into, so it doesn't fit the genre for my station, which answers the prompt. So I know there's a lot of Poison fans out there. I listened to their music over the years. I'm just not a big fan of it myself. And when it came out, like I was into speed metal and trash metal, and Poison was not my bag. But anyway, so we're going "Talk Dirty to Me" for my stupidest song that I love because it fits the prompt in the game. Curveball, something embarrassing to admit to, and I think this is where I want to pull out maybe something from the 80s, kind of rock pop kind of setting, and I think I'm gonna go with the Cure "Love Song." I actually really like "Love Song" from the Cure. It actually is a really cool song to listen to, and I play it on bass, and it is an awesome bass line. However, kind of embarrassing to admit to on this channel. In real life, I don't care. I listen to The Cure, and if you don't like it, tough shit. But for what I'm doing for the game, it fits, it answers the prompt. So that's what we're going with. And a song that imagine yourself as a villain. I'm just not really, I'm not really getting anywheres with that. So I gotta broaden my thought process. What exactly would songs kind of make me think that I'm a villain? And again, what is a villain? Like, is it someone that does something wrong in life or to other people? And I'm really not getting anything coming to me right now, but that's okay. I can come back to it later if I have to. And then we still got to answer our callers, who's a middle-aged person who's going to say something about "Talk Dirty to Me," which this will be really easy to handle because I'm going to get a fan calling in giving me crap about saying that "Talk Dirty to Me" is a stupid song. So it's just going to be a fan. So this is really easy prompt stuff. But yeah, we still need to do this one, and that's what makes this a game. Not all the prompts are going to come to you that quickly. They're not going to come to you that easily. And we also need to name our caller. So this game doesn't have any name generators in it, so you're kind of on your own to come up with the name generator. So we can pick anything, and for this, I can just pull any name out of the sky and just say this is who's calling in. So we're just going to say Carl. with a C is calling in. Actually, let's start with a K. Carl. Carl's calling in, complaining about me saying that talk dirty to me is the stupidest song ever. So, anyways, I still don't have my villain one, and I'm trying to think of a really cool metal song. Oh crap, it's coming to me now. It just kind of because Metallica is coming to mind. They did the revisited Garage Days, so they did a bunch of old punk songs, and I'm trying like one of the punk songs they did. I think it was Misfits or Black Flag, and was with Jason Newsted. So hey, I'm going with the guy I like. Um, and I'm just drawing a blank on the song, so I'm back to my phone because I'm drawing a blank on a song. Okay, I'm back from that trip down memory lane because I totally forgot about It's Green Hell by the Misfits. Uh, that song is bad. Like, not bad in a bad way, but it makes me feel like I'm not supposed to be singing that in public for some odd reason. But anyway, so that's the song we're going to go with. So what we would do now is we would take a moment to kind of write out answers to these questions or these prompts. Either you would just do it through a voice recording, like what on like any audio device that you're using, or you could actually write it out a little bit and just kind of give yourself some notes. But let's just go through it. So in this next block of music, we're gonna start things off a little bit differently. I'm gonna play a song that once you hear it, those lyrics just get stuck in your head. It's kind of the stupidest song, but I love it, and it's Poison, Talk Dirty to Me. Let's go. Then technically you would play the song. Like you would actually get your phone out and you would play the song, and then you would continue writing and jotting down notes or whatever, and then you would come back at the end of the song block. So we would go into a little bit more, and I would just basically kind of say something like, well, since we were playing a stupidest song that I love, I figured I'd throw you a curveball and throw you a song that a little bit embarrassing to admit to, but that would be The Cure, Love Song. I just so much like that song. It's a great bass line, and it's just a great song. I know it's not what we typically play here on The Wizard, but I figured I'd, just kind of keep that genre going. But then to kind of straighten things up, we jumped right into Green Hell from Metallica, which is a remake of a Misfits song. That song just is evil, and it's very fitting for the Misfits. That was sang back in the day when the man himself, Glenn Danzig, was playing for the band, and it's just Green Hell is just such a bad song. It just makes me feel like I'm a bad person. While we were playing our music, I got a call from Carl. I knew I was going to get a call from someone giving me a hard time for saying that Poison's Talk Dirty to Me was the stupidest song ever. But hey, I said I love it, so I don't understand why people are giving me a hard time. But Carl called in, gave me crap about calling his favorite band's song stupid. And you know what, Carl? Kiss my ass. Anyways, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. So that was a look at Void 1680 and a little sample of gameplay. This is, for me, is just a great game. I love this game. I found it before I went to Gen Con. There was the awards that were going out, and this game was actually an honorable mention as one of the recipients of being selected for that awards process, the Emmys or whatever it is. And once it was described, I was like, oh, I had to check it out. And I checked it out and picked it up and just had a blast with it. And again, with my personal life and what I do for a living, being in a vehicle all day, gives me lots of time to think about the different songs that I can put into my little blocks and just have some fun with it. Again, you can go in a million different directions with this game, like being a pirate radio, or you can be a comedy show, or you can just play comedy music. Like, you can do whatever you want. You can be serious political and play political driven music, float your boat, do it. You be you. This is an expression of who you would be, your persona as a DJ for an AM radio station. What's really neat about it is in the back of this book, there are some instructions here about giving your recording to the actual creator of the book. They actually have a transmitter in their garage, and they will actually play your recording if you do an actual recording and send it in. Or you can become a caller, and they give you a phone number you can call and become a caller to their radio station. So it's really neat to see that the publisher just didn't write a set of rules and go, here they are, and then move on to something else. This is actually something they're passionate about. So that just tells me a lot about the creator of the game. Again, check it out. Link in the description below if you want to pick up the PDF copy. I don't know where it's for sale physically. I found this at Gen Con. I think it was Rebel Indie Games or something like that was the booth. I'll have to take a look and see if I can find a link to a physical copy, because the sticker's just cool. It's a little holographic Void 1680 AM sticker. I haven't decided where I want to put this yet in my life, but that's just a cool sticker. So thank you very much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.